Hey guys, happy Thursday. Sorry I look rough. It's raining outside and I had to bring my chicks in. But anyway, so today I just want to muse about the backlash that rises up every now and then against women who live like a more traditional lifestyle. Um, it's just so silly. It's just so silly because I will count myself as one of these women. I do not have a job. Um, and I guess that's the only prerequisite. I stay at home, and my man takes care of me. So, I don't understand what the problem is. Of course, there are pitfalls to every path that one chooses, and you need to be very conscientious of those pitfalls, right? If you choose to be an actor or somebody in the entertainment sphere, right? You know that the pitfalls are getting into drugs, human sacrifice, and eating disorders, right? Like just you those are circles that surround you when you're on the actor or entertainer path, and it's up to you to navigate those accordingly for the sake of your health and your soul. Well, I understand that, yeah, with this lifestyle that I've chosen, my man can leave me at any point. I understand that. And that's kind of like the number one thing that conventional women, warn us trad women about. And, yeah, duh. Yeah, duh. I mean, everyone knows, whether they're a man or a woman, because it's usually a woman, if a woman, excuse me, hold on. If a woman, excuse me, gains a lot of weight after, getting married, that's not cool. That's not cool. And that is kind of grounds for divorce. Depending on how much weight she gains and does she have children, blah, blah, blah. 10, 15 pounds, and especially after children, that's not divorce behavior. That doesn't qualify for divorce. But, you know, if you go after that, if you go over that, yeah, right, there might be some repercussions that, splinter your marriage a little bit and maybe make it end prematurely. But, I don't know. I know. And, I could say the same thing to you, where it's to conventional women, do you not realize that your job can also, fire you at any fucking moment? We're in the same boat, bitch. We just have different um, bosses, right? Well, and that said, when you are living a traditional life, the premise is you're with a man that loves you. Okay, I am with a man that loves me. He does not talk down to me. He does not boss me around. He does not tell me how I should look. He doesn't tell me fucking anything. I ask him questions. Do you want this for dinner or this? Um, will you pick up this from the store? Uh, whatever. I don't know. It's like the life of a female. Like, it takes women a while to understand this, and also positive role models. But the life of a woman, healthy men and healthy women will agree, is is freedom based. I experience now a freedom and a peace that I didn't even know was possible when I was working, when I was in a 50-50 relationship, basically a roommate who had to put out, right? This lifestyle is so much more fulfilling. Like these girls, when they shit on women who have chosen a traditional lifestyle, I see them in their little apartment. You know, they clearly don't have a yard. Um, they have a lot of fucking makeup on. They have cheap clothes on that costs a lot. They're always wearing the latest style. They're never wearing anything that looks good and specific to their body angularity and their face and their color and everything. Like their life is so empty. And not only that, like it is a life, these women who shit on trad women, it's like their life is basically, they prostitute themselves to the screen, to social media, to their YouTube channels. And Big Daddy Google is their boss and their husband, not to mention their 9 to 5 boss, who is basically their husband. Like, you bitches you've got husbands galore. You got managers and supervisors and all these cunts and dicks who rule your life. I just have one, and he doesn't actually do that. He just loves me. Like, I like to think of women who live, traditional lives as like keystone species. I think of them as a keystone species. I think of us as salmon. All right, when you see salmon in a creek, you can surmise that is a healthy creek. When you see a woman at home, like happy, healthy, okay, that means she's in a good environment. That means that she has picked a man who loves her, respects her, and only nourishes her. These are good things. And he also is smart, and you know, he has enough personal incentive. He has found his personal incentive to go out into the universe, into the world, and make his mark on the world. Like, that's what men should do. That's what real men should do, should strive to do. And I would wager that most men would like to have that, attain that, so that they can, to a level financially stable enough, so that they could have a wife stay at home. I would bet 9 out of 10 guys would love to be able to make enough money to have their wife stay at home. That said, if you're a girl and like you're very young or something, and you're wondering like which way to go, I would just make sure that you keep your options open. And by that I mean, like, don't fuck yourself. Okay, a lot of these women that bash on traditional women, they're doing that out of, like, they're projecting, and or they're so fucking angry that they could never do that because they've gotten themselves into so much debt, whether it be from school or credit cards or cars or medical bills, from bad health, bad mental health, bad choices, rehab, whatever. They've fallen into one or enough pitfalls to basically chain themselves to a life of eternal servitude to the almighty dollar. All right, like, I am so happy because I did not do that. I did get a college degree, a bachelor's, but I did not do it in a way that put me in debt. I got it completely for free on scholarship because I, unlike a lot of women who go to college, was meant to be there. Even though my degree in sociology didn't lead to a job studying groups of people, it's not my fault so much as it is like the fault of where the universe is at. And all that said, like, I still benefited. It was only going to college was only a net benefit for me because it honed my ability to orate, to write, to organize my thoughts, and just in general to become like a little more disciplined as, an academic. So I don't know. I just, it's just so funny to see women who, like, clearly, like, aren't even blessed enough to have this lifestyle in their current state, like, shit on it, because it's like, girl, like, you cannot tell me you wouldn't trade in your $80,000 worth of student loans, your $50,000 car, and your shopping addiction and your SSRI prescription for this lifestyle. Like, And on this girl specifically that was shitting on the trad lifestyle, like I found her on Instagram, and like I randomly clicked on one of her posts just to kind of see if I could understand like what is her deal. Spoiler alert, it's just like making people angry, which that is a very sad existence. But I randomly clicked on one of her posts, and she was shitting on raw milk. And it made me think even further and realize, like, okay, that's the difference between conventional women and trad women. Trad women are raw milk, okay? We had a baby goat, born yesterday, around this time actually. And we had another goat give birth about a week ago. So we are flowing in milk. We have so much milk, like we're getting over half a gallon a day from these two goats. So this girl, the post I clicked on her, she was saying something to the effect of like, this time last year my feed was inundated with all these raw milk influencers. Where are they now? And like everyone in the comments is like, they died, they got dysentery, they're dead, right? And that was the point of her post. She was shitting on raw milk. And it's like, okay, lady. So then, by that logic, are you saying that all women who have had a child and are breastfeeding should pump their breast milk into a saucer pan and put it on the stove and heat it up to 180 degrees in order to pasteurize it? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying they should put in two drops of formaldehyde to extend the shelf life? Because that's what store milk is. Okay, it's watered down. It has preservatives. It's not truly milk. It's bullshit. The difference. I can't describe the difference between pasteurized milk and raw milk. Like, you just have to taste them, and there's no comparison. So silly. So I don't know, if you want to drink pasteurized milk, if you want to be a conventional woman, go ahead. Like, we don't care. We could not care less, because there's nothing about that life, which again, a lot of us have already experienced to the fullest, right? For decades. We said no. We walked away. It's kind of like MGTOW, but for women. Like, that's what the trad lifestyle is. We are walking away from that. Because not only that, like, this girl, like, she is hell. I doubt she has a 9-to-5 because she's unemployable. And an increasing number of people are, which there's good things about that and bad things about that. But for the sake of just brevity, we're going to say that's bad. Okay. And, in general, like, when you're a working lady, right, we are different from men. We're a lot more sensitive. When you're dealing with people like that girl, you're working for them, with them, and serving them all at the same time. That is unsustainable. That is why so many fucking women are on drugs, are on SSRIs, are addicted to shopping, and just don't have the energy, quite simply, to be in a relationship. They just don't have the time. I have nothing but time. I can do whatever I want. And when I think a woman is in a healthy place, she just blossoms with skills. Like, the amount of skills that I've been able to hone in the past year or so that I've, adopted this lifestyle is insane. Right now, I'm making fucking bagels. Okay? I figured out how to make my own kombucha. I'm selling pellicles, the SCOBY things that they're not required, but they definitely help make kombucha ferment faster, and so then you can drink it. I've mastered how to make. I haven't mastered, but I have one type of soap. I've made my own bar soap. I've made liquid soap. I don't know. I'm gonna learn how. It's not yeah, I'm gonna start making cheese here soon because we're getting so much milk. I don't know. I sew. I and then I also do make money. I think that's another thing. It's like, one, trad wives they're so rare, but to have one that is purely a trad wife who doesn't like make any money, that is so rare. Like, most trad wives, whether they have kids or not, they're doing something on the side to make some money. And again, if you're a woman and you haven't fallen down the pitfalls of like racking up credit card debt and or student loans and other bullshit expenses, like, you don't need to make that much money. For me, making $30 a day by selling random stuff around the house, that, like, whether it be clothes or knickknacks that I just don't even give a shit about anymore, like, that's more than enough for me. Because I don't spend money. I don't need anything. Like, I truly think that everyone, but especially women, they have everything they need by the time they're 30. And I mean everything, from clothes to shoes to makeup to hair products. Like, most women in this country, no matter how broke they are, they have so much of that stuff, literally lifetimes worth, multiple people's lifetimes worth of again, clothes, bags, notepads. Like, you have everything you need in this country by the time you're 30, which is just kind of a weird thing to say out loud, but it's like, it truly, I don't know, I've never met anybody who didn't have everything that they needed by the time they were 30. Like, short of a guy who, like, my boyfriend, he's in his 40s, he bought a tractor the other day because he needed a tractor. Okay, yeah, totally justifiable purchase for him, but there's really nothing that I could buy that I truly needed at this point. I mean, maybe one day, maybe like some cheese making stuff, but even then, like, cheese, it's all you need is a fucking cloth to, depending on the cheese you're making, right? It just, anyway. And the last thing I'll say, like, this girl, she was like, trad, the trad lifestyle is just so unambitious. It's embarrassingly, like, unambitious choice, considering all the freedom that we have. What about having children is unambitious? What about having children is not the most ambitious thing that a woman could do? I mean, you have to be healthy enough to have eggs and a viable sperm to get inside of you. So you had to pick a viable enough mate and also be yourself viable. Then you had to grow that thing inside of you for right, you know the deal. And then you had to keep that thing alive for at least 18 years. If not until they leave their house, which is now about 30. So how is that unambitious? Like, that's truly such an ambitious thing to undertake, that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people are not doing it, because it's just too ambitious for their little mind to comprehend. Well, actually, no, it's for their soul to undertake. Their mind has comprehended it, and their soul is like, nah. Which, whatever, like, thank God at least people are thinking about it, because too many women in the past just kind of said, oops, I'm pregnant, and here we go. Stupid. So, whatever. Ladies, whatever you do, if it works for you, awesome. But don't allow these women to shame you out of something that is actually a lot more, that I think I've successfully argued is much more natural to the way that we are built, which is, in one word, mystical, another word, magical, right? Science doesn't even comprehend the female body, much less the female experience. Like, philosophers don't even, I don't think anybody, like Socrates or anyone, I don't think any of them have, like, written an essay that truly encapsulates the female experience, because quite honestly, most of them were not, right? There was only that one female philosopher. I'm sure a couple are, they've been lost in history, and they probably wrote up a really nice essay about what it's like to be a woman. But just in general, like, the collective consensus does not understand what it's like to be a woman. And if you get to understand, you know, how truly amazing it is to be a woman, I'm going to say it's only because you're in a place like where I'm at, where other trad women are at, which is safe, protected, and not fucking rushed, okay? Like, it's worth it just to be able to wake up whenever you want. Not at 4, not at 5, not at 6, not even at 7, unless you wake up naturally at 7. I do. It's not worth it to commute in your car for 20, 30, 40, 50 an hour. It's not worth it to go to a place with people you fucking hate, to be told by what to do at all times by people you don't respect, and to have to serve people who are just unhinged at this point. Like, people are different, life is different, and actually the last thing I'll say is, like, bitch, you're gonna be next, okay? Because this country has 10 years tops. 10 years tops. And in 10 years, just about every woman's gonna be a fucking trad wife. So you might want to make yourself a good woman and find yourself a good man thereafter, sooner than later, so that if and when shit goes down, in whatever way or ways it goes down, you're ahead of the curve. That's how I feel. I feel ahead of the curve. I've got skills. I'm not dependent on any prescriptions. I'm genuinely happy. I am healthy. I am loved. I am safe. I'm not in an apartment. I'm not in a fucking city. Like, who's winning? Who's unambitious? Who's dumb here? I think it's you, bitch. But that said, if you are happy where you're at, I'm happy for you. Take care. Bye.